Here's my audience. According to the CDC.gov, every year in the U.S., 27,000 people get cancer caused by HPV. That's equivalent to one person every 20 minutes for an entire year. The HPV vaccine is currently the most unused vaccine out there today, according to an article in the New York Times by Jane E. Brody. Parents continue to refuse the vaccine, even though it could prevent future cancer or genital warts in their children. Today I'll be talking about what the vaccine is, what diseases it prevents, and why it's important to vaccinate early. According to the North Dakota Department of Health website, there are currently 3 vaccines approved by the FDA to treat HPV. The main one being used now by most physicians is HPV-9 or Gardasil 9. It protects against 9 of the most common HPV types. The vaccine is recommended for both boys and girls. The series is usually started between the age of 11 to 12, but can be started between ages 9 through 26. The vaccine is given currently in a 3-dose series. This will be changing soon to 2 doses. Currently, the second dose being 2 months after the first, the third dose being 4 months after the second. There should be at least 6 months between the first and the third dose to be the most effective. As with any vaccine, there can be side effects. Some side effects of the vaccine are soreness and redness at the injection site, mild fever, and headache. Fainting is also a side effect of this vaccine, as is why we are required to have patients stick around after for about 15 minutes just to make sure this doesn't happen. The least common adverse effect, according to the CDC, happens about 1 in 1 million doses. This is a severe allergic reaction. Now that you know a little bit about the vaccine itself, I'll tell you about some of the diseases it prevents. Human papillomavirus is a sexually transmitted infection caused by intimate skin-to-skin contact, including vaginal, anal, and oral sex. According to the National Cancer Institute of HPV infection. According to the National Cancer Institute, HPV infections are the most common infection in the United States. HPV contains over 150 different viruses, and over 40 of these relate to the genital areas of men and women. According to the Red Book, in the United States, the highest occurrence of HPV infection is in women ages 20 to 24 years of age. Though most HPV-related infections clear up by themselves over time, some do not. These infections that don't clear up over time can cause changes in the cells of the affected area, which can lead to genital warts or even cancer. The 9 most common types of viruses to cause HPV-related cancer and genital warts include types 6, 11, 16, 18, 31, 33, 45, 52, and 58. High-risk HPV types such as 16 and 18 are more likely than others to cause cancer. These include cervical, anal, oropharyngeal, vaginal, vulvar, and penile cancer. And this is just a graph. It shows the average number of cases per year and then the cancer related to which body part. For example, cervical cancer is almost 8,000 average cases per year in women. Could you see it?
Yeah.
These are just some of the diseases related to HPV, and it's important to vaccinate the children at an early age. Some parents are hesitant to do this. They tell us their children are not sexually active, they're not old enough to get this vaccine, they'll do it later. While this may be true, they may not be sexually active. According to the MayoClinic.org, it is ideal for girls and boys to receive the vaccine before they have sexual contact and are exposed to HPV, because once someone is infected with the virus, the vaccine may be less effective or not at all. Older children also are less likely to come in for routine checkups, so vaccinating while they're young is key, so that they get that full series completed. Research has also shown the vaccine creates more of an immune response around the preteen years versus the adult years. And this is just an informational sheet. It's about a map, and it says 4 out of 10 girls in the U.S. are unvaccinated, and 6 out of 10 boys are unvaccinated. It goes into more detail on the different percentages in states. All in all, I believe that children should be vaccinated against the HPV vaccine, and they should be done early so it's most effective. Today I have discussed with you what the HPV vaccine is, the disease it helps prevent, and why it's important to vaccinate early. Overall, with how relevant and serious HPV is today, parents should want to protect their children from these dangers that can cause in their future. They should vaccinate for HPV as early as possible.
Yeah.
Here's my audience. Sorry.